Well, we're looking forward coming off a bye week where we kind of focused primarily on ourselves, alignment, assignment, our effort, our energy, our body language. And now we're looking forward to this Saturday going out and playing a tremendous football team, and a team that obviously is well coached, well prepared. They play hard, they play for each other. That's evident on film. Obviously the standard for which a lot of programs will set themselves and gauge themselves on. And again, it'll be a tremendous challenge for us, but I think they're a good football team, and I think we're going to be a good football team. We're looking forward to it.
Questions?
They're not playing very well on defense. Have you seen anything on film based on what you've looked at that you feel like you guys could sort of take advantage of?
I think they've played some pretty good offensive teams, and I think the more teams go to this spread style of offense and you're running a number of plays, I think it's hard to measure defense anymore like you used to. I think it still comes down to turnovers and not giving up big plays, holding them to field goals in the score zone, lost yardage plays, and again, third down conversions. And again, I think that's where they would probably say the yardage really doesn't matter. I think last week against Fresno, they probably gave up more explosives than they'd like. Obviously, at times would have liked to held them to more field goals, and I don't remember many turnovers that they created. But to me, I see a team defensively that plays really hard. They play for each other. And like I said, it's just hard anymore. The more teams are spacing defenses out, the more you're going to get exposed. And, defensively, we haven't had that as much. We had some teams that were more tightened down. So you're just going to see that as football evolves.
When you self-scouted yourself last week looking at the turnovers, what were the cause of those, and was it the same types of things happening over and over or different circumstances? How do you manage that?
It's not, the first week was primarily the fumbles. That was the consecutive drives that we had when we fumbled. Now, we haven't had that an issue. And one of those, the first game, was at the end of the game that was insignificant. Then Nebraska was some mistakes, a drop, and then there was another one late in the game. There was a fourth down play that's insignificant. And then last week, the first play of the game was a blown protection. Not the first play, first series of the game was a blown protection, then a tip ball. The second one was a poor decision by the quarterback. So there's enough to go around. We've done a better job the last couple of weeks of protecting the football. What we thought we emphasized was enough, obviously wasn't. But we have to continue to do what we do. We just have to do it better. We can't go into a shell. There's just no way we can go into a shell and fear every time we throw the ball. We think it's going to be a turnover. Every time we run it, we're going to fumble it. I mean, we have to do what we do. We just have to do it better.
Same time, the running game got a lot better at Arkansas. What improved exactly?
Well, a few things improved. One, our emphasis with it. I thought our guys played a little bit better up front. Our backs, the guys we gave the ball to, ran downhill, and they gave us those looks. I mean, we should have run for what we run for. If we're really good and we're cooking, we would have run for a heck of a lot more for the numbers that they gave us in the box. But I think the emphasis of running downhill, I think we have to find a way to take the pressure off our quarterback to comfortably turn around and hand the ball off, which we did a better job of. We rarely, in last game, did we see our running backs go backwards. We were, wherever we got hit, we fell forward. We got our pad level down, and that's where we were much better. We were much more physical up front, and the looks were better.
You mentioned not only Jalen had a nice game on film, but also Kendrick Hardy, who is closing in on 2,000 yards for his career rushing. Is he going to figure more and more into the plans the better he the more he sort of improves and fits your style? Well,
Kendrick fits it as a downhill runner. The problem was he was banged up in the summer. Then he came in the spring and was banged up again, and it's just trying to get him healthy. I still don't think he's 100% healthy. So we're not there yet with him. We're constantly trying to get him in, and I think last week was good for him. But his strength is as a downhill runner, that's for sure. So the more we can get in pistol and the more we can get where we're running the ball downhill, the more he factors.
Taking such a long trip and playing late at night, how do you manage that? Is there anything?
As best you can. I mean, obviously we get out there, we'll do a few things differently. But it's always tough because you make that decision. Do you get out of your normal routine to change for just a few hours later? I think there's a few things you tweak, but obviously we have to do, once we've set our schedule with our classwork, with our student athletes, you can't waver too much from it. But then from there, you can do some things that you think will help you, and then we'll move forward with that.
Coach, last week Boise ran 100 plays, and with a lot of the injuries that Southern Miss has on the defensive side of the ball, does that kind of become a concern with how up-tempo and fast-paced they can be?
Well, it's a concern, and that's what you're going to get when you have a team like Fresno who went no huddle, and they were running a bunch of plays, and Boise was having success. And I think we're in the same boat, that we're trying to create tempo and create a speed of the game. So you're going to see a number of plays. Now, I think that's not normal. I don't care even if you go no huddle. There were years at Oklahoma State we averaged 80. So I don't anticipate that we'll get to that, but it can happen. You just try to avoid the sequences that lead to long drives. I think that's where it becomes taxing, is when you're out there a long time and you're trying to sub in and out. But we can only control what we can control, and that is moving the ball and scoring points, and then what they do is what they do. Obviously, us moving the football will help that.
Coach, how much did having this open week help kind of break up that 3-game road trip for the players?
I think it helps. Not only the 3-game road trip, but the 4.5 weeks you have camp. It was 7.5 weeks where really we were grinding pretty good. So I think it was a nice break. Obviously, with where we were at in the schedule, gave us some time to kind of look at what we're doing, get some guys healthy that we didn't have in Arkansas that we think we'll have this week. So I think any time you can get a break, especially in that 7 to 8 week area, I think is critical. If you get it a little bit too much later, you're getting beat up, and the guys haven't had a break, especially with all the young guys we're playing. I'm not sure they were ready for being thrust into the role that they have now. So it's good for them to be able to get home, relax just a little bit. I could feel it last night with those guys. They were a little re-energized.
And going back to the run game, do you look for Jalen to go after that first series being first stringer? I mean, I know you're going to use them all, but is he?
Well, I'm not going to get into who we're going to play and who we're not going to play, but the reality is, as we've moved forward each game, we've been able to assess our players and to assess who gives us the best chance to win. And Jalen's a good football player.
Coach, you didn't have a game Saturday. What did you do?
Watch football for the most part. We had the staff over and critiqued what other coaches did wrong, like we get critiqued, so it was perfect. We just sat around and ate and watched football and enjoyed each other's company and spent time with all of our kids who were at the house. So it was good. Again, it's good for us as well. After we went recruiting on Friday and got a chance to relax a little bit on Saturday, and then come back in and refocus on Boise.